tell me a little about what does ops mean to you? Why don't we start there?
Yeah.
So a lot of times, operations is okay. Why don't you put the building blocks and they're like below the building in the basement? What does operation mean to you? And do you believe this is the era of RevOps being front and center in go-to-market?
Yeah, so great question. So I guess starting with, do I believe RevOps is sort of in the forefront? Because you've heard the term a lot more lately. It's been, I've been asked quite a bit, hey, is this a new term? Is it just a buzzword? Is it really sales ops? And, I really don't think it's any of the above. I mean, I think, operations has always existed, right? For as long as there's been a product to sell or a service to sell, whenever we've had sales or marketing, there's always been some type of operational structure, right? To me, operations, is really the infrastructure, sort of, I like to call it the revenue engine, because it really is the engine that runs your revenue process, right? Whether that's marketing, sales, your channel partnerships, your client success, whatever, sort of all of that revenue facing team, that operations runs that. And that means your processes, your data, right? Obviously we'll get into that, your policies, your systems, your day-to-day operating cadence, your communication, everything that is not the actual art of selling, right, is actually being run sort of in the background by operations as well as in the forefront. Because operations is really the strategy, it's sort of the end-to-end revenue process and supporting that. I do think that with 2020 being the year that it has been, companies I think are seeing really the benefit of having operations, because I think companies, all companies went out in January. Here's our great growth plan. Here's what we're going to do. Rah rah, kick off and all of that. And then pandemic hits, and every company had to go revisit. Right, look at their operating plan. Look at their go-to-market motion. Look at their target personas, right? Look at all of sort of their go-to-market strategy. And those companies who had a stronger operational foundation are the ones who were able to quickly pivot, right? They're able to quickly pivot in terms of their plan and go and execute on those, whether that's changing messaging, changing their quota targets, changing comp structures, right? Telling their teams how to sell. So I do think that it's really becoming more of a viewed as a strategic differentiator. And I think more and more companies and organizations are really starting to see the value of having strength early in their operations kind of rigor.